Hi there. Oh, I'm laughing. It's been a kind of interesting morning, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Really, I'm going to talk about the decision point. Um, so, I have shared that I had COVID and I had issues with COVID. I had a hip replacement, and then we had a pandemic, and they kept telling me I needed to walk, and I tried, and I stopped, and I we did Miranda, which has been wonderful, and that's been ongoing. But what the orthopedic surgeon has told me, what the physical therapist has told me, is I need to walk. I'm going to get stronger to walk by walking. So I think I may have mentioned over the past several weeks. I don't know how many days it is now, but it's at least 3 or 4 weeks. I started to walk first thing in the morning, a very early riser. And so I started, and then my very dear friend and our meditation teacher Anjay Steck, who lives in Korea. He lives in Seoul, South Korea. He offered to walk with me in the morning. It's night in Korea, in Seoul. So I like to walk at 7:30 in the morning. So it's 8 or 9 in Seoul. So we get onto Zoom and I walk. And he tells me things like, "You're not going to go too far. We're just going to walk around the block. Make sure you rest when you need it. Be careful." And he says to me, "You're my hero." um, and in all ways makes me feel good about making the effort. That's what it comes down to, for actually showing up and making the effort. And so it rained cats and dogs last night. Um, I was curled up in bed, and I like sleeping with the window open, but it got really cold, so I got up and shut the window, and it was like pouring, and I thought, I don't think so. I don't think so. This is just not going to happen. So I curled up, went back to bed, and then I woke up around the time, and I meditate very early in the morning. So I did my meditation, and then it was getting to be the time when I was going to connect with Anjay and start walking. Now, I only walk around the block. We are not talking about anything closely resembling a hike. We're talking about around the block. And it can take, depending on when I started, it would take me 15 minutes because I would have to stop and rest. And because of COVID, I had to catch my breath again. So it was a process of catching my breath and getting some stamina. And so anyway, you can tell what's going to happen. So I like just like got under the covers, and I turned and I went, "Oh, I don't want to go." And then something in me just went, "Okay." So I put on my hoodie. This is my Emmy hoodie that says "Nothing is impossible" on the sleeve. It says "Nothing is impossible." Can you see it? Nothing is impossible. So and so there I am walking around the block. And one of the things that happened is I have these spots that I sit and catch my breath. So I walk a little bit, I sit, I catch my breath, then I get up and I walk again, and then I sit in another spot. One of the houses in the neighborhood has a stone wall that's just about the right size, like that. And I've been like doing that now over these weeks. Well, with all that rain, it's all puddled. I couldn't sit. So not only did I get around the block, I got around the block without sitting and resting. I stood and rested, but I didn't sit and rest. And by the time I got back to my house, I heard Anjay saying, "Wow, that's the best you've ever done." And I thought to myself, it is the best that I've done so far. It's only one block, it's only a few weeks. I don't know when and if I can keep it up. One thing about talking about it publicly makes it harder to stop. But so, a little backstory is that I started this at the beginning of the year and then got COVID and couldn't move. So, I had made some progress. And then I was so pissed off because then I had to start from scratch. I went to physical therapy and I said, I feel like I'm having to start from scratch again. And she said to me, Laura is my PT's name. Laura said to me, "No," she said, you catch up easier and quicker." And so while I'm telling you about walking and getting better one day at a time, I really want to talk about the boot camp that's coming up. I've never been so excited and nervous at the same time about any of the events that we've had. We've had um, symposiums. In the early days, we had a summit with several thousand people. You know, it's been an incredible journey. But I had this huge aha that there was something so important and so at the heart of everything that we do that I wanted to make it more available to everybody. And that is the exchange that we have with one another. It's what the tribe offers. It's our membership group. Our membership group offers that way more than just the open community does. I mean, we have Facebook, we have our circle group. It's where I'm now beginning to talk about it in terms of wisdom circles because Dr. Carmody often talks about that each one of us has our own wisdom. Um, so the boot camp starts up this week. And say hi to Karamia, everybody. She knows that I'm talking to you, and she comes to say hi every week now. So, so the boot camp. So we have the boot camp starting this week on Wednesday. uh, There's going to be a special welcome party for our VIPers. And then on Thursday, there's a welcome party and an orientation to the boot camp, just an hour with a Q&A afterwards. And then the boot camp starts on Friday. But we have the boot camp, we have coaching corners, we have live Q&A. So what we've done is created opportunity for sharing, for question and answer, for a deep dive into what we know about lipedema, but what everyone is doing. And we have, I'm going to share with you some of what people have said and asked for this. I'm trying to learn about lipedema. I'm newly diagnosed and I'm struggling with understanding what it is and why my body is doing some of the things it's doing. Can you remember if you've been around for a while? Remember those early days? Well, we have lots of people who are coming in brand new. And then we have people who've been around for quite a while and they want updates and networking. Someone said, I love this one, made me laugh, good keto friendly salad dressing recipes. So, from tell me everything about lipedema to give me a really good recipe. And that's what makes up community and our community. I think I say it again and again, and I say it and mean it from the bottom of my heart. I believe that it's the community that helps each and every one of us. I know it's the community that helps me. Whenever I need something, I always ask. Um, I I probably wouldn't be walking if it wasn't for the community. Definitely Anjay, but it's more a community effort that we all are looking at good self-care. And I don't think, you know, given the ups and downs and the roller coasters that so many of us are on, I too am on that. Well, here's Emmy. Emmy is our mascot, and Emmy says nothing is impossible. And I really take that to heart, that one step at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time. And that's what's going to make a difference. So, come, my nervousness, my fear is that, you know, we're putting together this amazing talks. There'll be 3 talks a day. The first day is just basic, what is lipedema, and then the characteristics, the stages and types, and then lesson is I'll be doing what is lipedema. Lesson will be doing the characteristic style stages and types of lipedema, and Dr. Carmody will be diving into really it's not your fault. And Dr. Carmody is our medical advisor and is so helpful, incredible. And in between talks, we're going to be having conversation groups. A lot of what I keep saying is join the conversation, because you have something to share that someone needs to hear, and someone has something to share that can be helpful to you. And that's the essence of the community. So that was day 1. Day 2, we have about nutrition and about managing pain. So we have Leslin and Brian, and I think Gail is going to be on that one. And Gail is our community manager. And if you're any part of this community, you know Gail. She's so dear and wonderful as our friend and colleague and buddy. And anyway, I love Gail. And then the third day, Siobhan is going to be talking about, is fat the enemy? For many of us, fat has been the enemy for our entire lives, at least mine. And then Gail and I will be talking more and more about community, because we are going to open up our tribe community, and there's an invite for everyone who wants to come and join us. So we'll be talking more about it over the weekend and giving people an invitation to come, because it's in community that we go much, much, much deeper. Um, and then there's a couple of messages. Oh, this is great. Sue says, yes, community is so wonderful and supportive. Thank you so much. Thanks, Gina. And then Gina says, let's see. Oh, she says she feels the same way. It's so hard. I think I have large nodules on the end of the small of my back, and it makes walking so hard. Yeah, mine is in my hip. And it's like, but I have to say, with these weeks of walking, it's getting better and better. So there should be a link to, if you haven't already, join us for boot camp. Remember what Emmy says, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. And just a shout out to Kathy, who gifted many of us with this hoodie back during one of the master classes. That's the other thing. We haven't had a master class in a couple of years. We are going to have a master class. I'll talk about it during the symposium, but it's going to be later in the year. But you want to think about it. Let's see, what else? I just want to say I love you. Thank you for showing up every Sunday. This has become the favorite part of my week, and the same with Karamia. She loves it too. She, do you want to say hi? Do you want to say hi? Say hi. What do you think? Want to say hi? She gets skittish when I pick her up. I understand. Anyway, I love you. Have a wonderful week. I hope to see you all throughout. And I won't be here next week because I'm going to be at the boot camp. So come to the boot camp, and you'll be hearing me a lot on everything lipedema and what to do for it and how to get better. So see you